Da-da. Hey, and welcome to Mastermind session number one. I am Bones Rodriguez, and this is Mastermind session of 2015, the first Mastermind session of 2015. And as you know, there are two kinds of actors: those who bring the check to the table and those who get the check in the mail. And my mission here in the next four sessions is to help you become one of those actors that gets a check in the mail. Not only through acting work, but through your own side business. Right now, I'm looking at myself, and you know what? I have to admit it's not on mirror, so I'm a little confused for myself. Oh, look at that effects. That's cool. I'll probably be playing with this as the thing goes on. I got a brand new camera today, just so that I could. Oh, mirror. That's funny. There we go. I got a brand new camera just so that it would be in HD and the stereo microphone and all that. So you guys are getting the first taste of the new equipment and the new session, because the other sessions I did were only 3. Well, this is going to be 4, and I guess our dinner is here. Thank you, Seamless, right? So I am an actor, have been here in New York for, well, I live in New York my entire life. In fact, this apartment is where I was conceived in, you guys. I was conceived in this apartment. And right now, my son, Pike, is in my old bedroom. I just put him to bed. Well, Laura and I put him to bed because apparently it's a tag team effort. He doesn't like going to bed. For those of you who were here for the first session, you know that he just doesn't like going to bed. So you might hear some crying, but you shouldn't, because of my brand new microphone. And here's what I discovered, okay? At school, at acting school, they lied to us. They lied. They said that, oh, develop your talent, get a survival job, and get discovered. And it just doesn't work that way, you guys. I wish it did. I wish it did. And, you know, when I talk to former actors who were like 30s and 40s who had tried to do the acting thing and all that, they all kind of talk about how they couldn't make a living while trying to pursue their career, right? The whole thing was like, oh, I was waiting tables, and after I was waiting tables for a long time, and all my friends had real jobs, and, you know, I got to be 30 and I was unmarried and broke, had no marketable skills except for waiting tables, so I finally got a job and I had to give it up, right? That's the usual story. And you know what? I don't have real statistics to back this up, but I'm going to say that's a good 95% of actors. I'm pulling it out of my butt, but I think you probably agree with me. Now, here's why I'm pulling 95% out of my butt: because it's 95% of small businesses that make it their first year, that don't make it their first year. And 5-year is the other 95%. So if you're in any small business, any business, past 5 years, you have beat out 95% of the other people who are in that business. Now, you are in a small business. As an actor, you are a small business person. And this is what I want to impress upon you in the next 4 weeks. Now, I know you're here to learn about how to make money so you can pursue your acting business. I chose that title very clearly. It's No More Waiters: How to Build Your Acting Business Without a Day Job. You know, somebody else would have titled it like How to Become a Superstar, How to Walk the Red Carpet, you know, how to make it in Hollywood and all that. That is not what I want to impress upon you. And here's why. I got out of school. I went to Skidmore College 4 years, never took an acting class. I'm admitting that on camera. I probably shouldn't, but let's keep that a secret between us, okay? Never took an acting class in college, but I did all the student musicals. I did The Wiz, Closer Than Ever, Little Shop of Horrors, Chicago, City of Angels, and something else. Oh, Working, which I directed. Which was awesome. I did all those student musicals, and I love singing and dancing and singing and dancing. It was lots of fun. So when I got out of school, I didn't want to stop singing and dancing. So I did a couple cabaret shows, but I mean, like, sure, being an actor would be cool. It's fun. I'm good at it. There was lots of applause. I felt like I was giving my heart out. You know, I kind of always had been performing, even in high school. I went to a Bronx Science High School, which is a science high school, and I did the student musical there too. You know, so I had that bug in me, but I didn't really think I could make it a career because, as you know, everyone says making it in acting is hard, and you know, it's not really. You know, everyone says it's difficult, and everyone knows you have to have special talent to make it and all that. So I wasn't thinking about doing it. But I was performing in New York, doing whatever for my friends and family, the same friends and family who came to our shows. And I started doing improv, and I did a lot of improv, like a lot of people. And we go do shows and come to my show. We made postcards, and we painted my friend's car because we thought if we painted his car, people would come to our show. And eventually, we would get agents to come to our show. And when we got agents to come to our show, well, they would see how talented we each are, and they would take us, and we would have a TV show, and blah 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 blah, blah, right? Mostly because that's what we were taught. Now look, I've talked to a number of people, a number of you who are on the mastermind this time around. Most of you know that that's not the deal. But if you're watching the recording and you think, you know, first of all, if you got this recording, you're already ahead of the game. And if you're over 25 and have this recording, then I know because of the statistics that you are serious, that you've realized that it's hard as hell to be doing improv shows with your friends, hoping the agents show up, right? And I just want to get agents to come see me because once they see me, they're gonna know how talented I am, right? I only make fun of it because I know better now. Okay, I used to think that, well, whatever. So I'm out doing improv shows with my friends. We're going to be discovered any minute because agents are going to come see us any second, right? Well, nobody in the industry ever came to see any of our shows, right? But we were all working on it. And I was the one who never went to acting class. I was kind of just learning from them, the other people around me, and basically doing impressions of what would they do all the time. I still do that. I still do. What would my very talented friend do in this situation, right? That's not true. I'm brilliant now. Now I'm brilliant. I wasn't before. Now I am. And so after a bit, I had a day job, right? I was answering phones at NYU was my first job, and then I started working on computers at the company that owned Macy's, doing shows at night, right? And I would get these weird gigs every once in a while. We do a non-union. I had like a stint at Great Adventure where I did their the Halloween show, you know, and so, you know, I got paid here or there, you know, doing something, or somebody needed something, right? And I got paid to do that. Somebody needed you know, somebody to play somebody from Cats, to act as if I were in Cats at some opening of a building. And I wore a cat suit, and I was supposed to be one of the characters from Cats. I actually don't remember Cats. I saw when I was little, but I don't remember it at all. And you call yourself someone who likes musicals. But little jobs like that as an actor, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get my headshots done. Because that's what actors do, right? They get their headshots done and they send them to agents. That's right here. And I'm going to tell agents to come see me all the time. And I would do that. But during this time, somebody else asked me, hey, do you ever look for ways of making money? Do you keep your options open for making money? And I was like, well, sure. Who doesn't, right? And eventually this person showed me multi-level marketing, and I was like, I thought it was the best thing I'd ever seen. This is not going to be about multi-level marketing, by the way, just telling you. But it's how I got my start. And I got in a business that rhymes with Scramway. And I was there for a long time chasing the dream of making residual income. And residual income is when you get paid for work you've already done, right? And I hadn't ever heard that before. I was 20-something, and I'd never heard of the idea of residual income, of making money after you've done the work. What I learned there is that there are businesses that do that, right? If you write a hit song and it's on the radio, you get paid when it plays. I'd never heard that. If you write a book, you write it once, but when people buy it, you get paid. Never heard of that. The only way I knew about investing in real estate is when you buy a house and you wait 20 years for when it goes up and you sell it and yay, you made some money. But what I learned through my continuing to learn things in business because of Scramway and a whole bunch of other stuff, I learned that there are many ways to create residual income. In real estate, you can buy a place and rent it out. And if you rent it out for more than your mortgage is, you get to keep the difference. And every month, you make money. I'd never heard any of those things, and those things run the world. Residual income and building assets run the world. An asset is something that pays you. And I was 20-something, had gone to all these great schools in New York. I went to one of the top high schools in the country, never heard of that. Paid $20-something thousand a year for 4 years at Skidmore College, where most of the people I was with, their families were super millionaires, and I'd never heard of these concepts. It took some dude asking me if I wanted to make some extra money and join some crazy multi-level business for me to start learning about how money runs the world and how you can have it not run your life. Because for most of us, most people who don't have that information wake up in a tizzy to make some money for the day, right? Most of us do that. Instead of hunter-gathering every day, we go out to earn money. We go out to trade out. Most of us trade our time for money. And you only have 24 hours in the day, right? You got to sleep for 8. Most of us, the idea is that you work 8 hours, which is a third of your day, which means a third of your life, which means if you live to 99, 33 years you have spent trading for money. So if you're 30 years old now and you've been, although I guess you don't start till you're 18 or whatever. Okay, okay, fine. Let's knock the number down. But 1/3 of your life as an adult is trading time for money, and most of us are trying to make a little more per hour. Man, if we can make a little more per hour. Meantime, the people who know better are creating assets. They're creating things that pay you. Things where you're not trading time for money, but you're creating things that pay you. As I say all the time, grab me, what shelf I want from, right? Okay. So, in fact, wait. Maybe I want you to see my my shelf over there of Kiyosaki. I'm gonna see if I can do that. Okay, see where Laura, just go point. That's cute, Laura. See all that? Okay, that is all the same author, you guys. That is Robert Kiyosaki. He is the author. She figured she didn't have to bring it to me anymore. She's probably right. No, she's probably right. The original, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He is the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I know I gave a bunch of that's the new edition. Yes. So as she mentioned, I have given away several copies. Thank you so much, sweet baby, of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay. This is the latest edition because I keep getting new editions and keep giving them away and rereading it over and over again because, in my opinion, it's the most important book of the 21st century. His latest book, the one that just came out last week, is right here. Right here. It's called Second Chance. And I actually think this is now the most important book of the 21st century. If you want to not be a victim to money. Okay? Now I know I'm going a long way. I thought he was just going to talk to me about how I can make some money so I can go get discovered. I know. And I promise you, when I first got on this path, that's all I wanted to know. How I could make an extra $1,000 so I could get out of the credit card debt I was in, so I could continue to do shows so that an agent would show up and I get discovered, right? But what I learned in the time was that I have been able to set up enough assets and work for myself without trading hours per dollars so that I got free of a day job. I stopped trading 1/3 of my life for money and suddenly had this freedom to do whatever I wanted. And guess what it was? tell people jokes and make people laugh. And what I discovered later was like write books and create other businesses. I had no idea I wanted to do any of that. I didn't until I learned about it, until I all of a sudden had a third of my life back. Does that make sense? What would you do if suddenly you had a third more life? What if suddenly every day was actually 32 hours long? What would you do if your life were if each day were suddenly 32 hours long? Most people would probably work an extra third of that, just so you know. But anyway, so I want you to think about what you're going to do when you have created a life, created assets so much that they pay you. My roommate in college, he was the grandson of the guy who created Snap, Crackle, Pop. Not Rice Krispies. Snap, Crackle, and Pop, the characters. He created the 3 characters, Snap, Crackle, and Pop, and his family was wealthy ever since. Because Snap, Crackle, and Pop were his asset. Okay? So throughout our 4 weeks here, I'm going to talk to you about creating assets, and then I'm going to show you how we create them, how you can create one and get moving. Because as I mentioned before, as I mentioned in No More Waiters and the other things, is that $20 changed my life, you guys. I am going to show you how to create that first $20. I'm going to show you how to do it so that you can suddenly open your mind, you like that? Open your mind and know that you can create that. Okay, some of you guys already have your own businesses, and you're working on this idea, which is why this resonates with you. Which is why you're on here already. And for some of you, you just knew that whatever you were doing wasn't working, and it was time for a change. And this guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Okay, in the next couple weeks, I am looking forward to it. But here's the promise I'm going to make to you that I need you to make back to me. I'm going to give you some amazing information. I'm going to do a bunch of stuff live so you can see that it can be done in a short amount of time. Yes, I know how to do it, so it'll be faster for me than you, but I'm going to show you that it's possible to do it in a short amount of time. I am going to give you homework after, and I'm going to highly recommend that you do it. I was going to say beg, but then it kind of makes it seem like it's my responsibility. It is not. It is your responsibility to do your homework so you learn. This is not a class where I'm going to give you an A and then some other person is going to give you permission to make money. That's not it. Most of the time we're at school, we're trying to get past the class, get through, so that we can get to the next class and maybe whatever it's going to be. So we can write down, oh, we did this so someone else can pay us. This is not that. Real life is not that. Okay? When I give you homework, I'm giving it to you so that you get it in your body, so you learn what to do, so that you can create assets so you don't have to trade your time for money anymore. Okay? I hope you can feel the impassioned plea I have. I want that. And if you're thinking like, get to it already, I got to tell you, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Okay. I haven't even written down anything. Okay, I know what I want to say for you, the first thing. So I joined this online mentorship group. And I joined this online mentorship group because I wanted to learn how to make more money from the assets I have. If that makes sense to you, you know, you can have one property that you rent out and make some money for, or you can have 100. The difference between 1 and 100 is either just doing it 99 more times or learning better. You know, what if you own a building? That's a different idea. Well, similarly, I had created these little assets that made me 20 bucks here and 50 bucks here, but what I wanted to do was expand and make thousands here and there, just like I hope you do. Okay? So join this online mentorship program, and all of us were spending about $40 a month, so that this guy who was an online zillionaire would get on a webinar once a week and just like critique our stuff, right? So hands off. It was for him. It was ridiculous, but it was worth $10 a week for me to get critiqued, to get my stuff critiqued. Now, the thing is, there were 2,300 other people in this mastermind group. You guys, there are now a handful in this one, okay? So you're going to have my attention. When I thought I was competing with 2,300 people, I was like, damn, I don't know if it's even worth it. You know, but maybe I'll learn stuff from the guy critiquing other people's stuff. I'll do that, right? It was worth it to me. So what I came to find out is that week after week, I would change my stuff and submit, change my stuff and submit. And every week, he was talking about my stuff. And at first, I thought it was because, well, I'm just great. I'm inventive. I'm creative, and no wonder he's looking at my stuff all the time. What I came to find out is that out of the 2,300 people, of the 2,300 people had joined this group so that he could critique their stuff, only about 10 people were actually submitting work. 10. Okay? He eventually ran a contest, and what I found out is that 2% of the 2,300 people, 45% even entered. Of the 45 people, only 15 of them entered correctly, entered their own stuff. Eventually, it came down to that 5 people out of 2,300 had submitted stuff correctly, and that were good, that was good to win the contest. I won. Because I'm wonderful. No, I won because along the way, I got my stuff critiqued. It got better. Does that make sense? I learned along the way. It got better. I tell you this because you might be one of the other 2,295. Metaphorically. Okay? So I'm going to ask you not to be. I'm going to ask you to really... You paid some money for this, not much compared to the value you're going to get. So, like, do it, okay? Stick with me and do it, because I want your testimonial. I want to know that I've made a difference in your life, not just with the information, but with results. I want to know that I have made a difference for you, and hopefully, the last 20 minutes have already impacted you, okay? The last story I want to tell you before we get started with the how-to is that I wrote a Star Trek book. It was one of my dreams. When I quit my day job, started acting full-time, okay, one of my dreams was to write a Star Trek book. So one day I had an idea and I wrote Captain Kirk's Guide to Women, How to Romance Any Woman in the Galaxy. Right? Guaranteed to help you make first contact and put your love life on warp drive. Okay? Super fun book. Great. One of my dreams. When it was coming out, I had no idea how to sell it. Because what you're going to learn is that creating an asset and creating books and works, and many of you know, doing a show is the easy part. Right? It's selling the show that's the hard part. So for me, selling the book was going to be the hard part. So I wanted to find someone who knew how to do that and learn from that person. So I went online and I found how to promote books. And I found this woman, Janet Schweitzer. And I chose to learn from her at the rate of $1,000 an hour. Now we talk about trading time for money, right? Trading $1,000 for an hour is not so bad. not a bad trade, right? Well, I was willing to pay it because I wanted this information. Now, many of you are like, what? $1,000 an hour? But it was worth it to me because what I realized is that each book was worth about $7 or $8 to me. So if that was true, if the knowledge I could get from her was going to help me sell an extra 143 books, well, that was worth it, right? Absolutely. And that's the way business people think. It is not the way actors think. Actors think, oh man, I don't want to spend money on headshots. Man, I ain't paying to meet no casting director. I ain't paying to meet agents. If they want to meet me, they should come see my show, pay me, and then, you know, you can feel that way if you want. That is not what a business person does. And you are in a business. And I want you to think about your acting business as if you're a plumber. I talk about a plumber, I talk about a restaurant, okay? And I want you to think about that you are a company, you are a business, and your business is a service because you provide the service of creating characters, of bringing characters to life, and solving the director's problem of not having someone to play their character. So a plumber, they solve the problem of clogged drains. An actor solves the problem of uncasted characters. A good mentor of mine, Bob Fraser, may he rest in peace. He made some fantastic stuff for actors. He says that you are a product, you know, and that casting directors and directors look for characters. And when you are trying to sell yourself in an audition, because an audition is a sales opportunity, it's when you're in there to say, hey, look at me, buy me, buy me. You know, sell that character, that you can play that character, that you are playing that character. So a business person is in there selling stuff. And so when we're creating our assets here, we're going to talk about selling the stuff. I had to pay $1,000 an hour from this woman because I wanted that information. It was good information. In that, she had one sentence that made all the difference for me. And the one sentence she gave me has made me multiple thousands. Okay? So I don't know what the sentence is going to be for you in these next 4 weeks, but I hope you take it and realize it, and maybe watch this again and again. I've done that many times. As I said, I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad many times and all this stuff. Okay, so you ready? All right. So what we do, let me see if there are any questions or anything before I get going over here. Hey, Laura, you're there, right? Are you on at all? You are. It's okay. That's all right. I got it. I'm just going to check for any questions on the live page. Nothing on there. I'm going to check in the Entreperformers spot over here. Nope. Okay. Oh, you did? You chatted something? I'm going to see if the chat is up here. Let's see. Chat. I don't see any chat here. Yeah, I don't see anything here. Why don't I see any chat? Well, interesting. Try that again. Thank you. Okay, so I started this crazy multi-level marketing business, right? And what I learned was that business sells stuff. Businesses sell stuff to people who want that stuff. Oh, that's what I thought businesses like had suits and went and did meetings, right? But if you're a plumber, you know, then you're selling your service. If you have a lemonade stand, you're selling lemonade, right? I like to talk about creating online vending machines, okay? And the business model we're going to talk about today, another friend of mine, Michelangelo Lopez, he talks about being in the email business. That if you're online, you're kind of in the email business with the Groupon business model. And what Groupon does is they find out, they collect emails from people who are interested in saving money, and then they email those people things about saving money. Well, that makes sense, right? Huh. So I'm going to show you how to be in the email business where you collect emails of people who are interested in a certain topic, and then you email those people things they might want to buy. Not spamming them, not doing stuff they don't want to talk about, but things that people might be interested in. And if you think about it, what I did was I wanted to find out what actors want to know about making money outside of waiting tables, bartending, babysitting, and having a desk job thing, right? So I have a list of actors, people who say they want to be actors. It's rude, but it's true. People who say they want to be actors, who say they want to learn about making money on the side. And what I do is I offer them things about how to do that. Because I have written books on that stuff. Because I have done it. And I've been doing it for many years. Make sense? And because you guys are part of this mastermind group, I'm going to show you how you can sell other people's stuff. Because that's how I got started. I got started because I bought the rights to selling other people's books, ebooks. This is at a time when the internet was kind of young and Google just started that pay-per-click. Have you chatted with it?
Yeah, if you're on full screen, you can't see it.
Okay.
But I don't know what you are.
If I'm on full screen, you can't see it.
I'm on full screen, I couldn't see it.
Okay. So if you're on full screen, you can't see the chat? Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay, so if you're in full screen, don't be in full screen. And then click the chat.
It's over here.
Right. Oh, you're on YouTube.
Yeah. that's
Okay, so if you're on YouTube, don't be on full screen. And what about if you just go to the link, the Google Hangouts? Can you do that? I hate that I'm doing this with you guys, but I tried it over the weekend. You know, whatever. Whatever. You guys aren't chatting anyway. Oh, okay, forget it. Baby's crying. Baby's crying. So I was selling other people's information. I bought a whole bunch of the rights to some books. I advertised them on Google pay-per-click, which means that they're advertised, and anytime someone clicks, that's when I paid Google some money, okay? And when people bought the books, I would make money, okay? So the little business I had going was, let's talk about hypnosis. I bought the rights to a book on hypnosis, right? I didn't know anything about hypnosis. Who cares? But I read the book and it was a good book. And I bought I bought the rights before I read it. I bought the rights because I wanted to sell. I was like, hypnosis, sure. People want to know about hypnosis, right? And I didn't make this up, by the way. I spent something like $500 to get this info, how to do this. I spent about $500 to learn how to do this. Bought the rights to this hypnosis book, read it, thought it was cool, made an ad for it, did what that course taught me was how to like post it with a little link where people could buy it through this crazy thing called PayPal, and PayPal would pay me because it was this eBay thing that they had, right? That this way that people paid stuff through eBay. It's called PayPal, and you can just put a link, and when people buy the book, PayPal will give you the money, and PayPal will send them to the web page where you have the book. That sounded cool. That sounded like a great idea, right? There are times you've done it. So Amazon kind of does that now, right? Except they kind of, Amazon are affiliates for other people's books, if you think about it. Okay? So I made an ad for hypnosis. Learn hypnosis now type of thing, you know? People clicked on it. When they clicked on it, I paid something like 5-10 cents. Okay? Every time someone clicked. If they bought the book, I think the book was like, I want to say $10, $15, $20. Let's say it was $20, okay? Just for hell, let's say it's $20, right? So if I spent $100 on ads because people clicked 500 times, right? And I made 6 sales, it was $120, then I made $20. Well, there was a day that happened. Not at first. At first, people didn't buy the book. I had to make my sales page better. Okay, I had to make the why they should buy this book better. And I did that, and I learned. I kept learning. First, I lost a whole bunch of money because I spent money on the course. Then I lost money advertising. I kept losing money. Then I'd make a sale, and I kept losing money. Then I made a sale. Then one day I made $20. Oh my God! It was amazing to me because at the time I realized I made $20 that day. I was at a rehearsal. I was at a rehearsal after my day job. I was at rehearsals at like 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night. And I was like, hey, you guys, I made $20 today. None of my friends cared. They were all like, you know, you're excited about $20? Why are you excited about $20? They didn't get it because they were all trading time for money. I was the crazy guy who was in multi-level marketing and was trying to do business and was on conference calls. I was the guy trying to learn this stuff while they were, you know, working during the day and doing our shows and doing other shows and doing free shows after free shows after free shows because an agent was going to show up one of these days, right? But this $20 made my entire life different because suddenly I realized that it was true. You could make money without trading time for it. Well, I wanted to learn how to do that with other books, right? So I made $20. I made like $50, and then I spent another 500 for like buying other books to do that with, right? And then learning how to do that. Eventually, it started working, and I started making a bunch of money daily, right? $100 a day, $200 a day. Wow, that's cool. And at the time, actually, I had by this time I had a full-time improv gig. kind of dumb luck, right? But I couldn't live on it. It was an acting gig, but everybody else had day jobs also. It was full time. It's funny. It was full time because it was during the day, but then a lot of people waited tables at night because it didn't pay them enough. Well, I didn't because I was making money on the side. Well, it came to a point where I was like, well, I'm going to send my headshots out because that's what actors do, right? I mean, I guess I'm a full-time actor. I might as well send my headshots out because I got, and I went on a couple auditions and I booked one. That's cool. So I sent my headshots out more and more and more. Here's why. I learned through business that, because of business, that most people don't buy the first time they see something. Listen to me. Most people don't buy the first time they see something. Most people don't buy the first time they see something. So agents needed to see my headshot more than once, right? What I found out is that people needed to see the hypnosis book more than once before they bought it. I learned that later, okay? So because I learned that, when my friends sent out 100 headshots and nobody called, it was because Hollywood sucks, man. But to me, it was, oh, nobody called because they need to see it more than once. I didn't know that. And what I couldn't understand is why my friends who had degrees in acting didn't know that. Okay? So I sent out my headshots again and again and again and again. And then one person called me for an audition and another person. Then I booked this one thing. And what I learned through business is that I should tell people when I make money, and they didn't. So I told the other agents, hey, I booked such and such through such and such, and they made that money. So guess what? They called me the next time. Eventually, I got to the point, non-union, that I was being called. I was freelancing like 5 different agents for commercial work. And I booked this non-union. I booked that non-union. I booked this non-union, right? And all of a sudden, somebody called me for a union gig to audition for. Hold on. And during this time, I was making a lot of money online. I left. I had to, no. Well, I was making a lot of money online. I left the improv gig because I was booking commercials and I wanted to be free during the day to book commercials. Okay? I left at that time, my day job of an acting gig so I could be free for bigger acting gigs. Because whereas a non-union commercial was paying me $1,500, the full-time gig was paying me about $1,500 a month. No, it was paying me $1,200 a month. Okay, so it was worth it for me to be out there for bigger, better stuff. Okay, like little steps, rungs on a ladder. Okay, and I decided, hey, we're making enough money. Had my girlfriend at the time. Laura was my girlfriend at the time. Let's go to Great Adventure. I was making money. Let's go to Great Adventure. We went to Great Adventure. We went on all the rides. We bought the pass that skipped it. We went on like a Wednesday, and it was empty because everyone else is at work and in school. And we spent $400. I came home and found out that I had made $500. What? I made $500 while playing around. Let me tell you, that's an amazing feeling. Live long and prosper. That's an amazing feeling, you guys. To come home and find out that you'd been spending money all day, doing like this thing that you've been wanting to do for a long time, and you made more than you even spent. Oh man, you guys, it's amazing. Eventually, I built that technique up till I was making $1,200 a day. Well, one day I made $1,200 in a day. Oh man, yo, I just wanted that to never ever end, right? Thing was, I didn't know that I should keep on it, that I should keep learning. I stopped learning. I was like, made it, done, $1,200 a day the rest of my life. That's not how it works, right? However, during this time, I booked a national union gig. Woo! Did you know that when you book a commercial, you get paid for the day of shooting, like 500 bucks, but then you get paid every time it plays? I didn't know that at the time. I was like, what do you mean I'm going to keep getting paid? This is that residual income stuff I was talking about. This is the asset, having an asset, something that continues to pay you. Checks were suddenly coming in the mail that said Paradigm, that said my agency on it, and I would open it up and then a couple thousand. What? Well, so I was making residual income from online, through books, and now through acting. Oh. Then I auditioned some more, right? And I was free during the day. Checks were coming. I was making money online. I could do whatever I wanted during the day. What? Then I booked a 3-commercial national McDonald's campaign. You guys. That ran about a year and a half. It paid me about $85,000. Now, here's my question for you. Was that worth learning the online stuff so I could be free to audition for that? You see, because if I didn't get free to begin with, I never would have had the opportunity to get that far. And since then, I booked a whole lot more, like dozens of other commercials, things that have run for a long time, things that have run for a short time. I've never had a day job again, okay? It's been over a decade, something like 13 years, got married, have a kid now, which, for those of you who are thinking about children, listen, it's the best thing in the world. It is the best thing in the world for no fathomable reason. And the fact that I get to be home with my wife and kid all day. He's only 5 months old. I get to be with him all the time. If you already have kids, you know it's great, right? It's even better when you're with them all the time. It's the most amazing thing. And, oh, Daddy's going to an audition. I'll be back in an hour. You know? Okay. So, that's what I want for you. I hope that this story inspired you to learn whatever it is you're gonna learn. Whatever it is you have to learn to get to that point. Because now I'm at the point where I've created my own stuff, and more importantly, I've been able to create stuff for you. I'm at the point now where I have been able to make things for other people to get free. And that's the whole impetus for this No More Waiters thing and why I expanded it. Because I wrote the book a long time ago. I was like, actors need to know this. Actors need to know this. But I didn't know how to show them the way I can now. But more than show you, by the time we're done with these 4 weeks, I'm going to give you my business. You're going to have my business so that you can just plug and play and go along. But you need to know how it works for you to understand it. So that's why the 4 weeks, okay? Otherwise, it could just, if you buy a franchise, you still have to go to like a school to learn how to run the franchise. So I want you to think about it that way, okay? Even if you buy a vending machine, there are still things to learn about, how to fill it and what kind of traffic you need, what kind of places to put it in, things like that, okay? So that's why the week, so that you understand what it is I'll be giving you by the end of these 4 weeks. So it's 9:55 now, so the next 35 minutes or so, I'm going to show you how it is that you can make money with other people's products, okay? Well, I'm going to do some screen sharing. I'm going to do some storytelling along the way. And by the end of today, you are going to have a bare bones, super quick, like dirty way to make money, asset that's living out there online that you can make money with today. In the next half hour, I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, I need to grab my phone for 1 sec. But in the next little while, I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing I need you to remember is this, because we're not going to touch on that today. We're going to touch on it again the next time. I'm going to show you how to have an online asset that pays you. I'm going to show you how to do that in this next half hour.